Hello, my name is Michael Dwyer, and I'm with Rochester Writers. Once again, Rochester Writers and the Rochester Hills Public Library have teamed up to host their annual author fair, now in its fourth year. We're hosting 20 authors in person at the library in downtown Rochester on Saturday, November 26th, from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. These short videos offer you a chance to meet each of the 20 authors. And right now, we have the pleasure of meeting Jon David. Hey, Jon, how are you?
Fine, Michael. How are you?
I'm good, good. Glad to have you on board this year. You've got a book coming out around the corner, and
Mhm.
this is part of a four-book series. And I know I enjoyed the interview when we talked a couple years ago about the Savage Peak, right? I'm looking at my other screen here. The
Mhm.
Savage Peak, which that's the first book. And tell us about this series and your main character, because that's really what it's about, right?
That is correct. I'm more character driven. My main character, Morgalla, in essence, it is an alien invasion story. Aliens versus aliens, which happen to be demons, versus humans, and it's a woman trapped between worlds and not entirely accepted by either of them.
So is that playing off of maybe some stuff that happens in real life here, being trapped between two different worlds?
Perhaps I think everyone kind of hides, a little bit. They don't necessarily. Some people are afraid to show of who they really are sometimes, and show their true face in essence. And that's definitely a struggle that Morgella goes through throughout the entire series.
Yeah, I remember talking with you before about some of the challenges that a character like that would have about is it morality and her position?
Well, her morals are definitely challenged, and she has to question herself as to what are my morals, and she ends up to that's another part of her journey is that she discovers as to precisely who she is and where she stands, and sometimes you got to draw a line in the sand, and the bad guys kind of force her to draw a line in the sand and force her to sometimes stand up for what's right.
Now, without giving too much away, I'm sure you left readers with a bit of a cliffhanger of some sort in book one. Are they going to be pleased with getting some answers in book two?
I think so. Some people did state that in book one they were left a little wow, I mean, we want more, we want more to this story, and so well, I'm going to give you more. It is part of a series, and I think when people went into reading book one knowing that it's part of a series, they had that mindset to which, okay, there's going to be more to it, and hooray, we like what we got and we're going to get more, and it's only going to get more epic.
And you said that comes out in February?
February 21st, The Diary of a Lonely Demon.
Now, and I've noticed on your website, which is a beautiful website, by the way,
Thank you.
uh, you've got all the four book titles already out there. Is that different? I don't. I remember waiting for, say, the Harry Potter book to come out, and
Hmm.
we didn't know the name until it was almost time to be released, and it was exciting. But you've taken a different route where you've got the names. Is that a strategic way of teasing people?
Well, that was more my publisher's doing. I did have all four books made when they decided to publish her adventures, and it was more their decision. And I had no problem with it one way or another. Bear in mind that I have been self-published as well, so these stories have been out there. Um, so some people have read them before, and they're jumping back into them. They are a little bit different now. I did add a little more meat to it. I changed maybe one or two minor things here, but the core element of the story, all throughout all four chapters, is the same.
Well, that's really interesting because I know a lot of authors are curious about that question. Do I go the self-publishing route? If I do, I will never get picked up by a publisher. You're proof that you can do both.
This is true. Now, granted, I didn't have the best of times. Self-publication with self-publication, it is expensive, and it's also very trying. I know of a couple of self-published authors who are very happy with what they do, which is awesome. But if I was to be picked up by a publisher, I would definitely jump at the opportunity, and I did with BHC Press. And yeah, there you go. It's it's difficult. I will say this: it's difficult, it's expensive, and be wary. And it's more of a it's I suppose it's more of a hobby.
Well, there's a lot of successful self-published or
Mhm.
indie published authors out there. There's people that have a formula and they really know how to work it and get there. And they might make more money in the long run than traditionally published.
Mhm.
But I'm just pleased to see that you've proven a lot of people wrong and said, look, you can be self-published. You can take those books and you can turn them around and get traditionally published. So we're looking forward to keeping track of you as you come out with book 2 just next year. And we
Mhm.
look forward to seeing you down at the author fair, the 4th annual on that Saturday, right after Thanksgiving. How would you like to wrap it up with everyone today?
Well, just thank you for having me, and thanks to everyone who reads. If you're a fan of fantasy, Morgalla is the kind of stories for you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jon David. We'll see you at the author fair.
Thanks a lot, Michael. Can't wait.